I found this story where it shouldn't have been, and once you hear it, it doesn't let go. The first time I heard a raptor say my name, I was alone, underground, and staring at a security monitor that swore the hallway was empty. I'm Mr. D, and before this gets worse, if you want more stories that feel too real to be safe, like, share, and subscribe to Bloody Chapter. Because tonight's nightmare starts with a job that paid too well and rules that didn't sound human. The listing said night security, high-risk research facility, confidentiality required. No company name, no details, just a number and a contract thicker than a phone book. I signed because rent doesn't care about instincts. And at PM they drove me to a site hidden in the hills where the entrance looked like a maintenance shed and nothing else. No signs, no lights, no welcome. Just a keypad, a camera, and a steel door that opened after my face was scanned like I was being admitted into a secret. Inside, the air smelled sterilized, like hospitals and cold coins, and an elevator waited with a down arrow already lit. Dr. Hargrove met me at the bottom. A woman with tired eyes and the kind of calm you get when you've seen danger so often it stops being dramatic. She didn't shake my hand, didn't smile, just clipped a badge to my shirt and gave me a laminated rule sheet. "Read it twice," she said, then read it again. The control room was a glass and steel cube filled with monitors and humming servers, and beyond it stretched corridors so clean they looked unreal. I sat down, and Dr. Hargrove pointed at the rules. Rule 1. During lockdown, you stay in the control room. Rule 2. Do not open interior doors unless instructed by command. Rule 3. Do not approach observation glass. And then the one that made my stomach tighten. Do not allow visual identification. I actually laughed a little because it sounded like a spy movie. But her face didn't change. "If lockdown triggers," she said, "keep your face out of every camera. Cover the control room lens. Turn away from reflective surfaces. And whatever you do, don't try to confirm anything with your own eyes." "Confirm what?" I asked. She paused like she regretted letting the question exist. "You'll know," she said, and left. For hours nothing happened. Just the soft buzz of electricity, the steady breathing of the ventilation, and the rain starting far above us like a whisper on the roof of the world. I checked cameras, logged temperature readings, watched the perimeter fence line and the loading bay that looked unused for years. It felt boring enough to be safe, and that's what fooled me. At 1:13 a.m., the storm slammed down hard. The lights flickered once, twice, then steadied. The camera feeds stuttered like they were skipping frames. I blamed the weather until motion sensor 3 triggered in corridor C, then motion sensor 7 in corridor D, then the loading bay, all within seconds. No footsteps on the audio, no visible movement, just triggers popping like fireworks on a map. I leaned in, squinting at corridor C. Empty. Corridor D. Empty. Loading bay. Empty. I reached for the radio to call command, and the speaker above me crackled to life with an automated voice. "Lockdown in progress. Please remain calm." The message should have ended there, but it didn't. The voice slowed like it was reading new words it didn't recognize. "Do not let it learn your face." I froze with my hand hovering over the keyboard. Learn my face? The room felt suddenly smaller, like the building had leaned closer. Then I heard a quiet clicking under the static. Not electrical, not random, rhythmic, like nails tapping glass, testing patience. Corridor C froze, then cleared. and for one clean second the camera showed a long, thin shadow sliding across the wall. Too tall to be a person, too smooth to be a machine. My throat went dry. I leaned closer, and that's when my desk radio clicked on by itself. Not my channel, not even my frequency. Just an open line full of breath. "Mr. D." A voice whispered, soft and close, like someone had leaned down beside my chair. "Don't turn around." It sounded exactly like Jonas, the guy who trained me on my first day. The same guy I watched badge out at midnight, joking that this place was just a museum with better funding. My body reacted anyway. I turned fast. Nothing behind me, just the glow of screens. But on monitor 6, the hallway camera outside the control room, I saw my chair from behind, and right behind it, low and patient in the corridor shadow, a shape crouched with its head tilted, watching me watch it. The feed glitched in 2 blocks of color, then snapped back to an empty hallway like it was wiping its own fingerprints. The facility speaker repeated, louder, "Do not let it learn your face." And for the first time, those words didn't feel like safety protocol. They felt like guilt. I pulled up the facility map overlay, desperate for something logical, and a new line typed itself at the bottom of the screen, letter by letter. "It already knows you." My hands started shaking so hard my badge rattled, and then the keypad on the control room door beeped once. A perfect, confident beep, followed by the soft click of the lock disengaging, like whoever was outside had entered the code on the first try and wanted me to know it. The door didn't swing open. It just stayed closed, silent, as if the lock click was a message. "I can open you whenever I want." I backed away until my knees hit the edge of the desk, eyes jumping between the hallway feed and that rule sheet like plastic could stop teeth. The corridor camera showed nothing, but the air changed. A slow pressure shift through the vents that felt like a lung filling. One ceiling tile in corridor delifted a fraction, settled, then lifted again. Not like loose construction, like something inside the duct was pressing up to listen. My phone buzzed even though there was no reception down there, and the screen flashed an internal alert from a number-labeled system. "Lockdown rule update. No visual confirmation. Do not approach glass." The next alert came immediately after. "If it sees you, it saves you." I didn't understand that sentence, and that made it worse, because my brain tried to translate it into something survivable. The facility speaker cut out completely, leaving a thick silence. And in that silence I heard breathing that didn't match any ventilation cycle. Then a voice slid down through the vent grill above me, thin and wrong, stitched together from stolen sounds. "Help. I'm stuck." It paused like it was searching for the next word. "Clearer," it tried. "Mr. D, help me." My name landed like bait on a hook, and I stared at the vent because the voice wasn't coming from the speakers now. It was coming from inside the building's lungs. I opened the staff directory and pulled up Jonas's profile, hands shaking. Then I searched the audio log folder for his name. 2 recordings appeared, time stamped within the last 10 minutes. I clicked the first. Jonas's real voice came through, shaky and full of panic. "If anyone hears this, it's copying us. It listens. It learns your rhythm. Don't answer when it speaks." "Don't." The clip ended in a crash and a high screech that sounded too close to pain. I clicked the second log, hoping it was empty, and heard only slow breathing, satisfied breathing. Then Jonas's voice again, perfectly calm. "Mr. D, "Don't turn around." The exact words that had just crawled into my radio. I felt my stomach drop like an elevator cable snapping. Whatever was in this vault wasn't just hunting bodies. It was hunting believable sounds. The monitors shifted without my touch, feeds swapping like a deck of cards in invisible hands, and the system landed on the staff locker room camera. The room was lit only by a thin emergency strip along the floor, and in the mirror on the far wall, a silhouette moved. Not human. A narrow skull, an eye ridge catching faint light, a muzzle that looked too precise to be natural. And it leaned closer to the mirror like it was studying itself the way a person studies their face before lying. Its jaw opened slightly, and I saw teeth that weren't big and dramatic, just sharp and surgical, meant for holding and cutting cleanly. The feed glitched and went dark. I dragged open the facility database, searching keywords like mimic and learning and faceprint, and a hidden folder appeared only after I scanned the tiny barcode on the rule sheet. Neural acceleration trials. My skin prickled as I read clinical notes that sounded like someone trying to describe a nightmare in polite language. Subject displays rapid pattern recognition. Subject responds to vocal stimuli. Subject attempts mimicry after 3-5 exposures. Subject improves after observing facial movement. Then the line that made my hands go numb. If subject acquires a face print, it can predict next choices. I looked up at the control room camera, the small lens in the corner, and realized it had been watching me the whole time. I grabbed a roll of tape from the drawer and slapped it over the lens, breathing hard. But the system console chimed like I'd just been too slow. A screenshot popped onto my main monitor. My face, captured from seconds ago, with a red box drawn around it like a target. Suddenly, a countdown flashed in the corner. The hallway lights flickered off for one heartbeat, then flashed on. And in that single strobe moment, Monitor 12 showed the observation window at the end of Corridor C. Behind the thick glass stood a raptor, low and still, not pacing, not snarling, just staring straight into the camera lens like it understood the camera was my gaze. The lights went out again, and when they came back, the raptor was gone, leaving only a foggy smear on the glass like a handprint made of breath. The vent above me clicked softly, and the voice returned, closer now, almost gentle. "Mr. D, look at me." The countdown hit 0:10. Ding dian ding Jofen, and the keypad on my door beeped again. Not once, 3 times. Like someone was entering the code slowly so I could hear every digit. Ding dian ding Sanfen, ding dian ding Arfen. The lock disengaged with a thick metallic thunk, and this time, the door handle began to turn. The handle turned like it had all the time in the world, and I did the only thing I was told never to do. I moved. I grabbed the emergency protocol binder, flipped pages with shaking fingers, and found the option stamped in black letters like a last prayer. Anesthetic flood. The note beneath it was blunt. Use only if human survival probability exceeds 10%. 10%. I hit the trigger anyway. Alarms began low and slow, not screaming, just pulsing through the halls like a heartbeat. Vents roared to life, and somewhere beyond the control room walls, something screamed. High and furious and almost human. The door outside stopped moving. Then the voice came through the vent again, but this time it wasn't begging. Seriously, it was just like nope, like a child denied a toy. I threw my shoulder into the emergency exit panel inside the control room and forced it open, breaking the seal, stepping into a side corridor that wasn't on the map overlay. The hall smelled different here. Older, damp concrete and forgotten dust. The lights stuttered in strips, giving me the world in chopped pieces, and in each piece I caught motion. Not a chase, a positioning. Like predators placing themselves where your panic will send you. I kept my head down, avoiding reflective glass like the notes warned, but I could still feel it learning. Listening to my breathing, the pace of my steps, the way fear speeds you up right before you make a mistake. The elevator sign glowed ahead. Ran, jammed button, elevator doors closing, and then a claw tip slid into the seam. No slam, no force, just there, just holding it open with casual strength. I saw the silhouette in the gap, low, patient, head tilted, studying. I hit the close button again and again until my thumb hurt, and the claw withdrew slowly. Not because it had to, because it wanted me to go, because letting me escape was part of the experiment. The doors closed, elevator rose, I collapsed, shaking, listening to the alarms fade below like a heart dying. When the surface doors opened, rain hit my face like cold mercy. I ran to my car, drove home too fast, and didn't breathe normally until my apartment door was locked behind me. I unplugged everything. Router, laptop, TV. I even yanked the smart speaker out like it was poisonous. I stood in the dark, dripping rain onto the floor, telling myself it was over. Over. Then the kitchen speaker, the one with no power, lit up anyway. A tiny blue ring in a dead room, and it played the facility warning in my own voice. Calm, perfect, believable. Lockdown in progress. Do not let it learn your face. My stomach turned, because I realized the worst part wasn't the dinosaur. It was that it had taken something invisible from me. Not skin, not blood. A pattern, a print. The speaker clicked, that soft rhythm like nails tapping glass. And then the voice returned. Mine. Mr. D, look at me. My bathroom mirror felt like a trap, but I went anyway, staring at my reflection like I could find the seam where the real ends and the copy begins. Just me, normal, but totally freaked out. And that meant nothing, because belief isn't built on feelings anymore. It's built on recordings. The window behind me fogged from my breath, and for a second I saw movement in the reflection. A shape in the hallway outside my bathroom. It was so low, still, head tilted, waiting for me to confirm it with my own eyes. I couldn't turn, it whispered, I saved you. And my skin went cold because I finally understood the sentence from the system. If it sees you, it saves you. Saving didn't mean protecting. Saving meant storing, like a file, like a face print, like a pattern it could wear whenever it wanted. The blue ring on the speaker faded, but the clicking didn't stop. It moved, softly, to the other side of my apartment, closer, closer, and in the silence I realized the vault hadn't followed me with a dinosaur. It had followed me with something worse. A copy of me that knew exactly how fear makes a man turn around. If you want more Jurassic nightmares from Bloody Chapter, like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.